I'm on. Do I get to say hello?
You are live.
I'm live.
Good evening, Sensei. You are live, and
Thank you.
Please feel free to go wherever you want tonight.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for your questions. Not sure how to handle these. We'll see after a bit. But thank you. Okay, what's tonight? The big push, the big pull. Okay. For whatever reason, the push that's going to throw us off potentially, it's going to drive us into a little crazy, is bigger than norm. It's not just Corona, it's bigger than that. I hate to say my sense of it is it's not going to back off. Corona may back off, but the big push is still in effect, and other things that we probably won't like might happen. So sorry to say that, but I'm just telling you the word that I'm getting. But remember, boom, as strong as it pushes, there is the backbeat of it, or the pull, if you would. Okay, the push and the pull. Different things we could call it, the exhale and the inhale of the great universe. Okay, so whatever words that you like tonight, push, pull. I don't want you to get too linear with this pushing way out there and pulling way back there. Remember, it's all going on here. Okay, so the push is here and the pull back into finer is here. So I talk distance and I might use a distance kind of thing, but don't get carried away. Don't be telling me you went out way out into the universe that away and you're going way back that away to the universe. It is here and now. But in our individual here and now, there is a very there is a very strong push. And a lot of work that we do is dealing with the downtime, the settling time to get into finer dimensions, to be at a better level of being present in the push, but not being pushed by it. Okay, was that sort of clear enough? Right. Should we use an example now? Let's do a practice. Miss Katja? Now, you'll have to get your invisible partner. I have my Katja partner. And we're just going to do this old one again. Okay, so that move. Again, you have an invisible partner. Now, the game is going to be hoping that you're fairly present. Okay, in fact, let's do one just to rep for. I'm fairly well here, and when I do this, I'm fairly well here. I'm sort of centered, sort of grounded, sort of full-bodied. I'm sort of okay. All right, let's call that first set. Okay, so far? Now, to give you an image, it's like you're in a wind tunnel, and I'm going to slowly, incrementally raise the amount of push that's coming through in our wind tunnel. Okay? Is that sense of it all right for you? So, minor, this is so we've established our basic. Got your basic? Check yourself, feel yourself, basic. Okay? Now, settle. I increase the push. So there's just a bit of a click, okay? Not a major, no tornadoes or whatever. Just a bit of a push, a little increment, and it's pushing me a bit, okay? Don't know what I noticed. Seemed to be all right. So if you notice something, fine, easy. As we settle for a moment, the push is going to increase a bit on this one, and I'm being pushed some more. I noticed I had a little out there bit. I didn't catch what the body was doing, but I did notice a little out there. Katja, anything on the receiving side? Okay. Okay. Easy. Again, I'm controlling the control switch here. In the wind tunnel, I'm going to increase it a bit more. And with a bit more push, I felt pretty good. I felt manly. My feet seemed to hit pretty good. I felt pretty good. Katja?
I felt I could not enter you, so a dialogue would be difficult in this position.
Okay, so
We're not talking about that.
we're even Steven here. I felt good. She felt like, yeah, I can't break through you really. Okay. Easy.
Not picking up Katya very well.
Say what?
We don't hear her on the
Oh, I'm
Zoom.
sorry. I have to
Just
talk
letting you
for
know.
Katja. Sorry about that. I'm new at this. Okay, in the wind tunnel, easy. A little more wind. Here it comes in. Okay, on that one, I could feel I wanted to get her. Very distinct to me. I wanted to get her. I noticed I moved a little faster in there, and I got her. Katja says
Not playing with you anymore. You're like,
she's starting to feel a little, she doesn't want to play with me anymore because
coming at me, it's blocking me out.
I'm coming at her a bit much, blocking her out too much. And yet from my side, I don't really, oh, really? I'm a little surprised because I know I was early in there and I know it was a little, but I still feel sort of socially human. So I'm a little surprised that she would say that to me. I sort of don't, I myself feel that. Interesting to note. Easy. You're in the wind tunnel. Got your invisible partner. And I'm increasing it more. And it's starting to push. And notice when I'm very my eyes to get her, I notice now if I were really check, I'm leaning a bit more. I'm not off balance yet, but I notice this lean in. Katja?
It's not a dialogue. I didn't feel anything receptive.
It's not a dialogue. I'm not really listening to what she said. I'm just talking. Yeah. Okay. So I might think I'm to her, but she feels already it's not a dialogue anymore. Okay. And even there, I might be a little surprised at that. Really? But I'm just making my case or something, not realizing I'm not open or feeling her or something. She's starting to bitch about that. Okay. Again, I hardly noticed it. I knew I was fast in there and all of that, but I might be really at what she said back. Okay. So what I'm pointing out here is that in being pushed, these early stages, you don't realize you're starting to be off-centered a certain way, even though my body is holding spare center. Then I'm starting to get socially off-center a bit, and I'm hardly catching that still. Maybe it's because I'm slow, but I'm hardly catching that. I'm starting to be socially off. Okay. Easy. Maybe the last one. Let's see. Easy. I increase the power in the wind tunnel, and it's a strong push. Okay. Okay. I notice I'm out there a bit with it. A little bit of get her was there. So I'm starting to notice now, oh, I want to get her. Okay. Was that, well, I'm going to do one last one for you. Okay. One last. Easy. Got your invisible partner there. And in the wind tunnel, increase, and you're being pushed. I definitely noticed this, the way my head was and my sense, that I really wanted to dominate her. There was a strong domination with this part here. I wanted to dominate her. Okay. My facial probably showed that. How I jutted my chin over a bit showed that. How I wanted to not allow her to step. I sort of wanted to get in there and block all of that out. So I'm definitely not listening to her. You all right?
No.
Okay. Let's take a break there, I think. Yeah. Can we let's do open mic. Seemed to work well last week. Let's do open mic. What should we ask? Could you feel either through your body and or through your attitude or view of your partner? For example, an attitude would be, I want to dominate you. That's an attitude, yeah. My body's starting to lean forward a bit. That's my body. So either through your body movements or your attitude or your idea, or a combination. Short and sweet, open mic.
So everyone, please feel free to open your mic, unmute to speak directly to Nadeau Sensei.
Go.
Losing some of my ground, starting to feel my feet light on the earth.
Yeah. Okay. So physically feeling. Can everybody hear him?
Yes, Sensei.
Okay. So yeah, your physical body told you, hey man, you're starting to be pushed out there. How do we know you're losing your feet? How many Aikido students of mine have I stepped on their back foot to get it to go back to the ground? I was trying to tell you something. Your back foot was raising up too high. Okay. Or I'd say, hey people, this is not a bowling alley. And saying bowling with a bowl in their foot, they kick their foot around or something. It's not a bowling alley, people. I tell the Aikido students. Anyway, somebody go.
Whoever wants to speak next, please just say your name and then your question or comment. Please go ahead.
If you're shy, don't say your name. Go. Was the practice a total loss? Did I screw up?
More bass.
You had more bass as you got pushed more and more?
No, I got more bass. That was good.
Okay, where are we going to go with that? See, what I wanted to happen, I'm not sure if I heard you, what I wanted to happen was for you to feel yourself being thrown off because of the push. You're saying, no, the push was great. It gave me more bass. Is that what happened?
Yes.
I don't know what to do with that one right now. Okay, I'm looking for the people that are screwing it up. But you did good. Here comes more push. I better get more bass. So that's a good move. I'm just saying, but some people won't know how to do that. So I'm playing sort of at that level. How are you being affected? So fine. Let me hear the negatives. Who got ahead of themselves? Who wanted to dominate? Find your own sense of you in the push. I want you to recognize yourself being pushed.
Hey,
Sensei.
Sensei.
Connotation. Say what?
Sensei, this is Andrew.
Yeah.
My head gets really heavy. It's almost like I have blinders on, like artificial blinders.
Yeah. Blinders in. Okay. So the push can take us from a wide vision and suddenly the push is narrowing down this way. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And so if you get pushed in martial arts, it's getting dangerous because you see that guy, but you don't see his two buddies over here coming at you. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I could tell you a story about that, but not at this time. Story somebody related to me another time.
Sensei, this is Tija. Hi.
Hey, you.
Hey. So one thing very interesting to observe in your relationship then with Katja was that as the energy started to move through, it seemed like you lost some empathy with her. So that was
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
The more energy that was coming through, she was reporting back to you that that she was feeling dominated or something.
Yeah.
So it could feel very good to us to have more flow, but all of a sudden it's also a little bit about the relationship.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Thank you. Great. So how do we hold ourselves at a better level in a flow will be one way we're going to go with this. But right now, I just wanted to feel look at when I get pushed and I'm not a sharp Nadeau student, I lose empathy for people. Good observation, Tisha, yes. Because I could begin to feel that too. I really wanted to dominate. And if in a stronger push, it'd be things like, I'm going to bury this bitch. and on, I'm going to destroy this person. I'm going to run them over. I got no care for them. Run them over. Anyway, give me another one or two. Somebody?
Sensei, this is Patrick.
Hey.
Hi. Physically, I felt off balance, but mentally, I also was feeling off balance. And what I noticed that I was worried about physically being off balance. So
the physical off balance through the mental off balance.
Yeah. And I began to worry.
But now with that unbalanced mind or attitude, what was your relation with your partner? How did you, at that unbalanced mental level,
I was
view
concerned. Yeah, I was concerned that I wasn't there in a good way for my partner because I was so preoccupied with worrying about myself.
Okay. So being pushed off, and we create this rebounding back worry again, where now I'm worrying about that. And so there's almost a double hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. We'll have to fine tune that and see if there's anything very, very important there. Interesting. And
This is Michelle. So
Hey.
I was having that similar experience of being pushed from behind and then threatened from in front. And so my energy was just like, I have got to take control here. So there was no easy on the eye.
No, you're getting, I used to lay that out as being like squashed between two things. Your own energies, or the push is pushing you, and this uke is there.
Yeah.
And you got this uke problem, and you're being pushed, and you're being squashed between those two things. What a bitch, huh?
Yeah. And so I'm just like toughening up and the armor's going on.
Yeah. Well, if you're being squashed, you got to do something. So you put up armor or something to protect yourself in that.
Yeah.
What's the tool that does that? Vice. In that vice you're in, yeah.
Yeah.
And notice also, because you did the 1x2x game, notice if you were to stay with that caught between those two in that vice situation, if you were to really get into that, you would pick up all the stuff you picked up in the 1x1. Sure as hell.
Definitely.
Yeah. Somebody else was wanting to get on, I think. Or is that it?
So that's good. So it's interesting that in the beginning, when there is a push from behind, it's not initially clear if this is a friend or not. So it takes time to realize whether this energy or this push is going to be helping you or not. And but I have to fight this, so I have to go with this. So this is the Okay.
Yeah. Again, it worked the level where, how to say it? Again, maybe I'm talking, what I wanted to play with, I wanted to talk to the people that come from the society or planet where they have no word for wind or breeze. It doesn't exist. Remember those people? Wind? What is wind?
Yeah.
They have no sense of it. When they see the trees move, they say, the gods are happy. How do we know? Look at the leaves are moving. They have no sense of wind. So I'm just trying to get us to be aware of the wind and sort of how it pushes us and how it changes our thought pattern, and for each of you to recognize your own style. I'm so grounded, I probably wouldn't raise my foot, but I would overlean. So that's my style of getting off. I'd overlean as opposed to losing my foot, generally speaking. Anyway, to recognize my own style of getting pushed. Oh, I'm starting to want to dominate this person. Oh yeah, that's my style of being pushed. Boom. Now I better do something. So just to recognize this, and to recognize if we don't recognize it, how we can get into trouble. See, if I kept that up, if I stayed at that being push level, me and Katya aren't going to get along very well, right? So I just wanted you to feel physically or through your attitude or your view of things, what the push feels like. Later, we'll talk about how to be present and go into finer dimensions. So we're at a better level of ourselves where we're not affected by the pushes the same way. We kind of know what they are and we can incorporate them real quickly, stuff like that. Okay, but I just want to do the negative side of it. Okay, is that all right? Oh, okay. I guess close mics. Let me see. I'm not sure. Maybe we should have left the mics open. I'm not sure if we have the time or the interest by everybody to go over these questions. One thing, though, I could say about questions, is if a question is important for you, okay, you really think it's kind of important, you want to ask it, that's fine, no problem. But also to bring it back to you, see, remember, I'm not of the school of particularly giving you fish. I'm of the school of teaching you how to fish. Did I say that in a nice way? Did you hear what I said? So, as best as you can, if you're being pushed with a question, it behooves us to sit and settle on that question or that pushed us, to sit and settle with it and sit and settle and naturally go into finer dimensions along that question's push line and get to a better dimension level of ourselves where we can read it and sense it a bit better. And in some cases, I don't know, it's just, yeah, questions are okay, but also remember it's important for you to realize how this works. If something is pushing on you, well, let's say the same question comes up in a week at 3 different times. To me, that would sound important. Gee, I was wondering about that Monday, and this is Wednesday, and I'm wondering about it again, and then Friday it happens again. Boom, that would catch my attention. I would sit with it, get to a better level, and see at a better level how the whatever is seen, and get to a better level and see how it's seen. That's all I've ever done. Okay. So anyway, what should we do with these? Should we talk about, not all of these, I got too many, but chat?
Sensei, this is Lauren.
Yeah.
I know that you wanted the title today to be the push and pull of the universe. And a number of people in texting have said that they felt pushed, but then they felt like pulled into the center of the cyclone. They felt actually stable. So can you talk a little bit about the push and the pull?
Okay.
Thank you.
That's what I did this way. We've got two forces going on. Now, sometimes a push is so strong that I have a little trouble in settling and getting more grounded and more present here because the push is so strong. Now, the push pulls have their own, or they're different, how to say this, different levels of timing. So you got maybe a year-long push and pull. It takes a year for the full cycle. Then you have a 1 minute push and pull. It's a 1 minute cycle. Okay, so there's different timing beats here. Where am I going with that? I don't know where I was going with that. Okay, so push, click, settle into the pull, where in a finer dimension, it mixes up better guy who's here. Okay, hopefully he's not being pushed anymore because all those energies that we're pushing sort of are assembling a better character me. All right, so there is a push, short duration. You kick back, you settle down, which is the pull part, or earlier we call that downtime. Settling down into a finer state, finer dimension, and becoming a better character you at that level. Here I am, better character. So that pushed you in that case was just a reminder that you could open to something more. It's like pushing you, saying, hey, if you settle down, there's something for you. Oh, and you incorporate it in your system. I think I said that pretty good, but let me check. Did that come across? Okay. Now, because we're in a very big push these days, with unfortunately more to come. Sorry, but big time push. It would be good if we could really major in the settling quote downtime, the pull of it to get to a much finer dimension that will assemble us as a better character who can survive this craziness that can come from a push. You see how people can really get pushed out. You haven't seen anything yet, but you see how crazy they can get, how out there they can get. So it'll behoove us to really know the tricks of the pull of settling down. Finer dimension mixes up a better character. Okay? Push, pull. One thing nice about that is as strong as it can push, there is an equal, because it rebounds, there's an equal amount of force for the pull. A lot of people might say, but what do I have to do to get back to it? And it's like, well, not much. There's a pull. If you settle for a bit, settle. And you're already caught up in the pull, unless you're busy crazy hanging on to my crazy eye. If you easy, settle, get more here and settle, you'll be drawn or pulled into a finer level. You just, for lack of words, allow it to happen. Okay? If I teach you some tricks about allowing that to happen, don't make them verbs. Okay, sometimes you misunderstand me and take a little trick and turn it into a verb. Oh, I gotta do that. I know, just sit with it, feel it, sense feel it. Imaginarily experience it, not imaginary. Experience it in your inner imagination. experience. We really shouldn't be bringing verbs, working stuff. In one sense, based on this, it pushes, it pulls. It shouldn't, in one sense, be that hard. Okay. I know it is, but it shouldn't be that hard. Okay. All right. Where the hell are we? Push, pull. So if you're being pushed, again, I like that sense of something is being said to you, but to hear it, and incorporate it, you have to do the backbeat, the downbeat, the pull, get into the pull of it, or the back down beat, settle easy. And when you reach a certain level of settling, the energies that were previously pushing on you are doing something different. They're just trying to mix up a better character. Probably said it the same way, but I'm enjoying hearing it myself. Where the hell are we?
Sensei, this is Lauren again. I wonder if you could now comment on somebody a few minutes ago said that they felt pushed, they felt the wind coming through them, but actually they felt more bass. Maybe is this if you're not toppled by the push?
He was playing a different game. He was doing a good form, nothing wrong with it, but again, I wanted the game to be you're being pushed. Can you feel how it can push your ideas or your viewpoint towards your wife out funny, or push your body off center? So I want to play there. Now you're being pushed. So I'm being pushed. What should I do? Deeper center. Now, in being deeper center, you're naturally more open and the energies are naturally mixing up. A stronger actual center. So that's the move you should do. Okay. Right? I'm being pushed. What should I do? Settle open, mixing. Here I am. I'm not being pushed anymore, but I'm fuller, I'm stronger, I'm whatever, more aware, I'm whatever I need, more loving, whatever qualities of energy that I have in this situation. Okay, so what he did was a good move. It was just a different game than what I was asking folks to do. That's all.
Sensei, this is another question has come in on the chat asking really, they say that the push and pull feels like waves sloshing in and out.
Yeah, the wave effect, yeah.
And that it's easier.
If you look at waves, I think don't waves, I don't know, but don't waves, if you let them become a, what's that figure 8? What's that called?
Infinity sign.
The infinity sign. So yeah, there's probably something like that going on. So waves would be, a wave comes and it draws back, and as strong as it comes in, it draws back. Watch out for the undertow. It's very strong because it came in strong, undertow strong. So wave effect is, yeah, same difference. See, how you pick it up is in a form comfortable for you. If we're talking about back and forth and you pick it up in a wave form, fine. I might pick it up if you're a heavy duty Aikido. Say, oh my God. In fact, Aikido guy mentioned that to me the other day. He said, huh. You know that exercise, right? Huh. I said to him, good call. Because that's what we're doing. You just saw it in an Aikido form, but that you saw Aikido form of this with that exercise, cool. A lot of people wouldn't have caught that. Good, play with it. Waves, da, push, pulls, inhale, exhale, or exhale, inhale. La même chose, baby. It's all the same shit. It's beautiful shit, but it's all the same shit. Okay? I talk God in a Nadeau language. Don't misunderstand. I have more respect for the universe, O Sensei, all that stuff than you can imagine. Don't mind the way I talk. It's me. Yes, somebody. Or back to Lauren. Lauren, how are we doing?
Very well, Sensei. Thank you. And I'm fascinated. You just stood up and showed us the Funetori Gyo, the he ho, he ho, in and out. Is that? Yes. Is that?
Did you hear
push,
that Japanese accent?
It was perfect, Sensei. Like,
yes.
So is that really a physical expression of this idea of push pull? Is that?
Yes. Yes, it's a very to start a human off to catch this, and human. You teach him that God knows what He makes of it. You know. Oh, I see. You pull your partner in, and you push your partner away. I pull, I push. You got that level of it. But if you stay with it, what is this really? Is the way that I go at this. Okay, there's an exercise. Now, what is it really? What's really going on? Now, I'm not asking for the great universal hit yet. I'm hoping the next dimension of it will show, and my sense of it and how it shows will be a little bit different. And then I continue, and I hang out with that level for a bit, and I say, okay, what's really going on? Inferring what's going on with this in a finer dimension. And that's one of my tricks. I've always done that. That's how I learned to understand things at a better level. I would start with the same things everyone else was doing, but I go dimensional with it. So it could explain itself and I could experience it. And better than that, by experiencing it, it would mix me up as a better character. And in there is, as this balance or harmony, the outflow to the inflow, as there's more balance and harmony, the real piece of the game is truer self. Just when we start with the word, I start with the word I, and then this is my way of mapping. I self could mean halfway. I self to self. Yeah, it's just a designation on a map that I made up. Self, finer, next level of self. Oh, a finer self. Oh, and I experience that. Okay. And then I might do a little aside along the way. I hope I'm not going to confuse you here. Okay, finer self. What character mixes around this finer self? So I'm working just the self piece, but I might do an aside and say, okay, at this level of self, what character are the energies mixing? And everything that goes with that, and how would that character view the world? How would that character move? Stuff like that. And I'd go back to the main piece, because right now the main piece is this self, finer self. And I go, the self that existed before I existed self, or something. I just keep moving along with it. Eventually it'll change its name. It changes name from an I to a self. Eventually it'll change its name from a self to a very, very fine self. Eventually it'll change its name, and maybe it'll say soul. Maybe it'll say the original one. I don't know. You got to get vocabulary in your own system. I just give you a map to give you a reference. I don't ask you to follow my word map. Make up your own words. Okay? If you want to call, well, some of you are from out of state. If you want to call L.A., Los Angeles, San Diego, and you want to call San Francisco, Oregon, whatever, as long as you know where you are on your map. The words are just words. They don't really mean anything. Did I say that okay? Yeah, not fast. Okay. So again, the pattern I'm trying to show, doing my best to follow O Sensei's pattern, is the pattern is cool. I think it's great. Now your experiences along the way, you word your own. I'll throw out examples, but those are my words. So I might say with that gotcha thing, oh, I want to dominate. And you may have said something else like, I want to control, which is different than dominate, right? Or I want to be the boss, just because I want to be the boss. So your own words are your own words. I'm just giving you a sort of a direction, giving you some of my words so you get a sense of it. Thank God you're not following O Sensei directly, because he talked about whatever, what shall I say, the purple gods. Like, whoa. But that's what he saw. That's how he referenced them. But you can't follow that. What are you going to do with purple god? You're going to be off the wall about purple gods or whatever. Okay. So get the sense of things and name it along the way your form. As long as you're on that same sort of lineup, that's okay. I give you freedom to do that. Okay. When we did the quality, when we said what quality is major for you, you all have different qualities. I didn't say you have to have that quality. You each have your own main quality. And then you have your own supportive second quality. I think since they call it supportive, I call it partner quality. And then you got a couple of more. We all have our own grouping of qualities that make us up. Okay? So to know at first that there are four majors, keep it simple, there are four major qualities, but whatever you call them, whatever you're getting, whatever you're experiencing, that's you. I want you to be fully you. This is, O Sensei would say, this is very personal work. Very personal. You settling with you, opening to you, how the energies mix up the character, and the character is you. See, because O Sensei was a martial artist, he doesn't expect you all to be a martial artist. Some of you are musicians. Some of you are healers. Some of you are teachers of other things, school kid teachers or whatever. Mix up on your own lineage a better level of you at whatever your character does. Okay? We're just using the martial arts dojo setup to introduce this process. We're not really expecting you to necessarily be the next O Sensei, be the next great musician, be the next great surgeon, be the next great loving parent who's known throughout the neighborhood as the mother of all times. Come on, you got it?
And
Okay,
Sensei,
we covered quite a lot there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
someone has written that they're feeling the push-pull of current events. They're feeling pushed this way and then pulled that way. And is there some exercise or process that they can try and harmonize those?
Yeah. Well, okay. Now wait. Now I'd have to tighten up on that question. They're being pushed to do that and pulled to do that. You see, if they're there, if there's anything about the push and pull out there, should I do that or that? I think they're at the same level. It's the pro-con of that level. Okay.
Maybe I didn't explain it. They were feeling external outside events, politics, protests, pandemics, that the news is pushing them, and then they're feeling pulled. And is there some way to
pulled in what way? Pulled. I feel the push of it. Yeah. Whoa! Look at all that craziness going on out there, or whatever. Pulled in what?
They're feeling anger and frustration. How can they turn that into calm and balance?
Okay. Okay. Anger is a flow. Okay, that's what a person calls a flow. I'm getting angry. Now, Now, hopefully you people are getting very tuned in here. You know, I'm getting angry. Oh, there was a strong flow. How do I know? Because I'm getting angry. Okay. So you got to know whence came the anger. It came from a flow. This is basic stuff now, people. You know, oh, I suddenly feel loving and I want to cry. That didn't come out of nowhere. There was a flow and you picked it up and you're whatever. Nothing wrong. It's just, where did all that stuff come from? It come from this flow of energy qualities. Okay. I say that clear enough? This is a real important basic. Okay. Now, once you realize it's a flow, hopefully picking up some tricks here. Okay, a flow. All right, can I settle here? Easy. Got to open a little bit as I settle. Easy. Now I know my head's still spinning. Easy. That's got to be part of easy. Easy the eye. Easy the body. If you need a trick, maybe use calm. There is calmness here. Not I'm nervous, I'm angry, I'm not that calm. Calmness as a field of calmness, as a thing itself. Sit, settle, pool out in the pool of calmness. Okay, so those are just basic tricks. Just practice with them. And you'll be able, after a while, to be pushed very strongly and very quickly go, whoa, stop, energy push, settle, open, get to a finer level and mix up a better character at that level and not be angry. You'll be able to do it very fast if you take it a step at a time. Now practice. Now I say practice in the summer. So it'll be there in the winter. You're giving me a winter scenario. Okay. I'm saying, yeah, but you got to practice in the summer here a bit, because practicing in the winter when it's happening and you're in the midst of it is, I think you waited too long. I hope you can pull it off, but you waited kind of long. Okay. So what we're trying to do here is teach you how to practice. That's what we do in Aikido even. We shift here. Is how to set this up, how to deal with just a normal beat of things to get to a better level and get you versed in that. And hopefully you're practicing with it, you're funning around with it, so that if something really happens, boom, you can handle it much faster because you've done the summer work. See, one way I look at Aikido is an Aikido technique. I'm trying to get you to, let's say, open up the channels of the body and let energies flow through. Okay. And then we open up the channels for positive flow through. We open up the channels for receptive flow through. We practice opening up channels by doing these techniques. Now, God forbid, if something should come at you, because you've practiced week after week of opening energy channels, in that split second that something is coming at you, you'll go, hey, and all those energy channels are open and forming a character that'll deal with that situation. It's a Shazam potential. Hard for me to teach a person who's facing death, Shazam. It's a little bit late. You didn't practice. Okay? So I would say, yes, it works. But don't start it from the worst case scenario for your first go around at this. Be nice if you would practice and play with it. Okay, and play with it in lesser forms so that you build up something. You build up something where you can, bing, do it in a bigger form. Did I say that well? Lauren, I'll bounce off of you. Are they happy out there yet?
I'm happy, and I'm just representing myself here. So I thought it was very eloquent, Sensei, actually. And there's some questions here coming in asking, are you saying that every emotion that I feel is the result of a flow? Are you saying that all emotions have inside them push, pull?
They're qualities. They're qualities. As qualities move through, your emotional sense can change. So, okay, energy flows at a finer level of energy. We call them qualities. Okay, I had you do a practice with that, I think, a week ago or so. Okay, now we all have our own grouping of energies, and they mix up a better character you. And being in a finer dimension, open to those flows, energies, qualities, makes up an even better level of you. So that's what I call Bobby. Those energies are mixing up a character called Bobby, and he acts like Bobby, and he looks at things like Bobby, he speaks like Bobby, Bobby. Bobby gets tired of being Bobby, stops for a moment, learns how to settle, be still, how to open up, and suddenly he's in this strange place, different dimension, and there are things moving around, energies, and easy, and those energies are just a he and a she type, and they dance with each other, and they breed, and it breeds Robert. Boy, am I glad I sat, because I really feel better now. I'm ready to face the world because I sat. What do you think happened? Again, I get lost in my talk. Back to you, Lauren. Was that on point?
Yes, Sensei. And a number of people have written that a few minutes ago when you said practice in the summer so you're ready in the winter, that really made a lot of sense to a number of people who have written.
Okay.
And
Good, great. Story time. Lauren, I'm going to cut you off a moment.
Please
Story time. I asked O Sensei about his prayers in the morning. And he said what was cool for him was to do his process to get to a very, 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 very fine level of himself in the universe, or plus after a while. And if he did that in the morning, he called that prayer time. And he had different forms he would line up and get to that better level of self. But he called that prayer time. He said if he didn't do it, that he would feel during the day, he would sort of get off a little bit. But if he did that in the morning, it's like he could just click and he'd hit that same spot again. But if he didn't, he felt a little thrown off. I think, okay, next, this is O Sensei. Wait, didn't Christ do something similar? Yeah, one time, right? Christ was beset by things, went out in the desert, sat to meditate. When he starts, he's being beset. Remember, the devil's tempting him. Hey, you can be a big man on campus here. You know, forget this religious shit. You can own this country. Whatever he said. Far be it for me to know what the devil said to Christ. But he had to sit. I thought, here's the Top Gun. This is Top Gun. And he had to sit because this stuff was going on. The devil, in his case, probably a tight eye saying, holy shit, I got my choice of dying stupidly or being boss of all of this. Holy shit. The devil was his own thing. I'm going to get into an argument with the Christians here soon. Better stop right there. So, got lost. Did we answer anything? Did I finish?
I don't know.
O Sensei, yeah. O Sensei's cool. Go ahead.
Everybody loves your stories of O Sensei. So
cool.
Don't hold back. But people have written, oh, so this is like saying best Aikido is practice every day. And right now we're unable to meet to practice. So
yeah.
What should we do every day?
Yeah. Okay. Back again to O Sensei and Aikido. Here's a big misunderstanding in Aikido. Big misunderstanding. Drove O Sensei crazy. O Sensei's reference for the word Aikido was this inner work to the purity of his self in relation to the, at that stage, the real harmony of the whole universe. Plus, he went even further. We call it heavenly. That he called that Aikido very distinctly. He said, that's Aikido. This inner traveling, finer dimension to the ultimate of yourself. I happen to be a martial artist, so I'll show it in that form, but this is the work. What drives them up the wall is people are going out there, more and more out there. Yeah, we're using it for a secondary reference. This is primary if you're in a better, okay, gotcha. This is basic. Okay, so again, this is basic move, okay? Now, I would like to get better. So I will lift weights and get stronger so I can get better. That's an out there kind of practice, okay? I'd like to do this. I'm doing a short form, but the right form, or the sensei form. Easy, settle, open. Everything wants to do everything better. Open, and it's mixing up a better character. And this character, it's not Bobby anymore. This level character, me, is, oh, good ground. I own the ground, this character, new to there. I own that ground where she stepped on. It was my ground. I let her step, but onto my ground. That's level 2. I didn't say this is the ultimate. That's level 2. Now, gee, that was pretty good. There's another topic they can come in, but let's pick that up later. Now, let's try level 3. Easy, that was pretty good. Easy. Now, see, I'm getting pushed a little bit by that was pretty good. And I sort of want to do more of it. Here we have to be careful because I'm sort of pushed by that. Yeah, that was good. Okay. I'm doing a fast form here. I'll pass on that. Me getting overly excited out there. Settle, open. There'll be a finer dimension right here now. Essentially said, don't go anywhere, it's here. But it's a finer dimension here. And in that, settle, open, clear, finer dimension mixes up a better character with a better self-core there someplace. I'm not feeling the trueness of self yet, but I want to keep acknowledging it's there. And this character, oh yeah. And that character knew about receptive positive. So I didn't have to make it up. That I'm letting this character figure it, character do it. And this character said, I'm going to be a little receptive positive. Okay? And on and on and on. Okay? One problem with a lot of people is they don't want to go on and on and on. And I know some people, it's not your thing to go on and on and on. But go as far as you can go comfortably. I just show you sometimes 3 levels just to point out a direction. When we did 1 by 2 by 3 by, I'm hoping some of you are not, unless you're really comfortable at 3 by and you don't think you can cope with anything more. But I expect some of you to go 4 by. Okay, and there'll be a certain size group. And I'll expect some in that group to go 5 by. And there'll be some who do that, but not all. And I'll expect out of that smaller group, some to go 6 by. And on and on and on. I'm just do the first few just to point out a direction. Okay. Where the hell are we? Oh, that excitement thing. At a certain, how can I get into it? At a certain level, catch up before you get, I got a little bit longer. Certain level, a certain level being present. Okay, when you hit a certain level of a good mix, there'll be an insight. Ah, my foot moved a little before hers. That's an insight. Now, careful, because that insight starts to build up a little push. And it's like, there. See, my foot was there before yours. And I stamp my foot down. I'm starting to own and do. I'm starting to come out owning and doing that insight. The insight was an experiential happening. Ah, but I caught it. Because the message is that from that experience, message goes out to a station that says, I got it. I can do that. And then people start coming out of this experience and coming into doing the experience. Okay? And then doing it in different forms. Well, what about that form? And what about, and they go, what about, and what about, and what about? And they're going, and they forgot all about this experiential place, this dimension of self, and they forgot all about that, and they're gone. And they're going to stamp on the ski slopes, and they're going to stamp at the ice rink, and they're going to stamp with their kids. They're going to stamp their dog. They're going to try all kinds of ways of stamping. Are you following where I'm going with this? And this is the big weakness of Aikido, sorry to say, that we've turned an inner art and majored it in outward form. A better inner should produce an outer, and we'll use it for a quick reference. And then we go back to inner, try to get finer, and it'll probably, we'll see, produce a better result. And we kind of learn with that, but back to this. And in Aikido, we don't go back to this, I'm sorry to say. We don't. Oh, you might pay lip service to it as you're out there, and more out there, and more out there. Say, oh yeah, center. I'm going to get bitchy here now, so I better stop. It's an inner, O Sensei, it's an inner development. When the inner is developed, the outer will show something. That's all he was trying to do by showing the way out stuff he could do, was saying, look at, when I'm in this level of me, look at, you can't hold me. Look at, you can't catch me. I'm past speed and space. He would do this wow stuff, not just a why. He was trying to show the level he was at, how nice it worked, so that you would get at a better level, and whatever your job is, you would be better at it. You would be great at it. If you're trying to show at a better level, the universe harmonizes with you. And God knows what can happen in the different characters. You'd each would get your own style of, wow, I'm in harmony with the universe. O Sensei liked the people that were inner aware people. He said, I'd rather hang out with those people who are doing this inner development work than I did with most of my out there students. He preferred people that were actually aware of inner work. Lauren, this is why he liked that old lady at the candy store or wherever in the down south town. Do you remember the story? There was an old lady owned a little store near Hikazuchi's dojo. And O Sensei thought she was great because she was doing inner work. And he'd love to hang out with her. You don't know the story?
I do know the story, and I heard it as he always went to buy his, his whatever he needed from her little store. He always went back to her.
He liked to hang out with her, yeah, because she was a kindred soul in inner awareness, a kindred soul. Okay, so again, we use an outer form for reference. But when we stop doing inner and just highlight outer only, that's not I could tell you some things O Sensei said to me, but they may sound disparaging. You may not understand where I'm coming from, where O Sensei was coming from. It's going to be too disparaging. We'll let it go. Where are we? I don't have my clock.
I think you're
Oh.
right on schedule for intermission. And if you,
I'm not ready to stop.
well, we can just keep going, Sensei.
No, I better take a quick break. Sorry.
Completely up to you.
No, we'll take a. I'm just amazed. I really am amazed. Anyway, when you're being pushed, whatever, you're getting angry or emotional or whatever, you're being pushed. What's pushing? We call them energies. Recognize, oh, energies are pushing me. You sit, you settle, you learn a trick of opening, go calm, whatever, so you can settle into a finer dimension, and there'll be a dimension where the energies just want to mix up a better character. Okay, so if you're emotional, maybe there's a lot of love in there, for example, and it wants to mix up a more loving character, which is different than being emotional. You're a loving character. Mine was anger, or really kill. And I told you a story before, and I said, oh my God, I gotta do something with this because I really have this urge. I'm gonna go out there and kill something. I told you about my favorite T-shirt. I never wore it, but it's probably still in my drawer. 2 vultures sitting on a limb. One vulture says to the other, I'm bored. Let's go out and kill something. I love that T-shirt. I'm sure it's still in my drawer. Okay. So anyway, I had this urge. See? And a part of my reason for not doing it, well, I was young and handsome, and I didn't want to have to go to jail being young and handsome. So, but I had to sit with it. See? Now listen, you have to sit with it. So I sat with kill. As I started to settle and open to it, I could kind of feel in some form the push of it. Okay, yeah. I sat with it, I opened. I could feel a lot of red in there, a lot of fiery. And I sort of understood at that level, oh, that's where those words like blow his top came from, or this red anger, whatever. It was kind of reddish. Sat with it, and lo and behold, the volcano. Whoa. Sat more, deeper, finer dimension. And I realized at one level, it was just powerful. It was power. Big quality of power. And it wasn't angry at anybody. It had no feeling to go destroy. It was just powerful. It's one of the main qualities in creation. The whole creation is very powerful. It's also very intelligent. It's also very loving. It's also very balanced, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So, but I sat with it to understand it. So I don't mind you asking questions, but there's a certain point where it sounds like you didn't even sit 1 second with that question. And that's a good practice. That's a good habit to get into. Something nags you and nags you and nags you. I suspicion it's important. How do I know that? It's nagging the hell out of you, has been all day, has been for 3 weeks. It's recurring. It happened last year. It's back again. I think you ought to sit with it, settle with it, and get to the truth experientially of it. That's my suggestion. Okay? Break time. Okay, where are we?
Sensei, I have a question. Someone wrote that they got, what they're hearing from you is that the settled place, the place where you're opened and settled, is calm, and it's almost emotionless. It's not an emotional place. It's a place without so much emotion, and that the extreme emotions caused by too much energy, that's what takes us off balance. Is that?
Okay, now, well, close. Calm, it's a big word. I'm using it right now as maybe like a travel vehicle. I want to get past the energies. If I move into a field of calm, I don't feel those energies. I'm in the calm. I'm blending with the calmness. As you hang out there, that'll bring you to a certain level if you continue with deeper calm, fuller calm. You get to a certain level. Now, at that level, how to say this, in a certain way, I get out of the calm spacecraft or diving bell. Let's use diving bell. That's one I used to use. I get out of the diving bell and I am present with these energy qualities at a much finer level. And then, again, I let them assemble. First, I'm aware of them. I get a sense of them. That's not good enough. You let them flow through sense, feeling, experience, and they mix up a character. And then you feel yourself as that character. Those energies mix up the character. Okay, so did you? I wanted to show the timing. I thought the way that he asked that, the timing or the positioning was a little off.
I think what she was getting at was that it's the extreme emotions that get us out of balance, and that sense of centered and calm.
Anything can get you off balance.
But that
extreme anything will get you off balance. But go ahead.
But that if you can be calm in calmness.
Careful. I trying to be calm is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about calmness as its own thing, as a field. Let me call it a diving bell. A diving bell that's all calm. There's nothing else but calm. And it's going deeper and it's fuller calm. And then I get to a level past the strong push of emotionality into a finer source, not the source, but a finer level of the source. And I let it mix up the character, who is a much better level character.
Yeah. And maybe that.
So I use the calm as a trick, a travel vehicle to get past the of things into a better level of things. And then I sort of get out of the diving bell and acknowledge the qualities that are there and partake of the mix up the character I am. Can't say it any better, I don't think. Go ahead.
No, that made good sense, Sensei. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Another question. Somebody asks if you could speak a little more about morning prayer. And
not really. O Sensei did a lot of different things. Sometimes he would chant it, sometimes he would move it. It was just his form of getting to a better level of himself. Not much more I can say. It was O Sensei doing O Sensei's progress, O Sensei's journey, O Sensei's mission.
And someone else has written that it seems like what you're...
Story. Sometimes early morning.
Please.
It's hard for me to get up early morning. Sometimes early morning, I would get up and O Sensei's room was by the dojo, and there was a big wall there. And I would sit on the street side of the wall and listen to him chant and do his stuff. Just to be near him, just to listen. Anyway, go ahead. Say what?
Someone has commented that this idea of mistaking the outer practice for the inner practice, that are emphasizing too much the outer practice and not returning to the inner practice is
Yes.
they think it happens in yoga and in music.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. It's a human thing. You see, we get to a better level, and whatever music, whatever, we get to a better level, and we feel that level, and we get an insight or something at that level, and then we jump out with the insight. Now, in Aikido, when you do that, your first couple of moves are still strong, but after a bit, they'll dissipate. And you'll say, gee, I thought that insight was forever, but it's not working anymore. Gee, I must have made that up. I won't trust my sensing ever again. So that's one possibility that can happen. Or they get an insight, works, and they stay at that level with that insight, like the foot stomping. That's why I was doing that. And they want to try the foot stomp on everything. And yeah, if it's a better level, it'll work a bit level for everything. But unfortunately, they stopped at that level. O Sensei said, it's very hard to get people to move on when they've reached a fair level, not anywhere near O Sensei level, in the human development, a fair level. Let's say fifth dan in the old days of fifth dan. Now, we can't use that rank to reference anything anymore. But in the old Hombu days of fifth dan, it was very hard to get those people to move on, O Sensei would say. I think maybe that's where the term go down, fifth dan, go down kind of thing. That's the end of them. Because to continue to move on is scary for people that are talented. So the foot stomper is getting famous as the best foot stomper in the county. Ask him to go to the next dimension of that. He doesn't want to. He gets paid to foot stomp. The girls love him because he's a great foot stomper. Whatever. To ask him to pause there and settle in. In essence, it feels like you're letting go of it, which in a certain way you are. You're letting go of that level of it. But it feels like you're dying, and you are. That lesser self seems like it's dying. You're just moving into a finer level of self. So it's not a real death, but it sure can feel like that or sense like it sometimes. And a lot of people don't have the guts to make that move. And that's when I tell people, this is where you have to be a warrior. And I tell people, some of us, if you think being a warrior is bleeding, I tell people, some of us like to bleed. We think that's great. But this work, this inner work, this Bobby dying to be a Robert and Robert dying seemingly to be a Nadeau, that's scary shit. That's where you have to be a warrior. Okay. Not only can I punch this skinny guy and beat him to the ground, that's not a warrior. Face your own self. Okay. That's being a warrior. Didn't O Sensei say that? Face yourself. He said something there. Defeat the I. What did he say?
True victory
He said
victory. Yeah.
Masakatsu Akatsu Katsuhai, true victory over yourself.
Over self, inferring the lesser I. The lesser I doesn't want to do any of this shit. Leave me alone, is what the lesser I says. Okay. Easy. Hopefully, in learning a couple of tricks, how to be easy, how to play with calm, whatever you're going to use, a little movement, a little chanting, whatever to represent the balance, to help bring you here, to help bring you deeper into a finer dimension of you, where the finer self exists. That's the victory over self. That's what that meant. Yeah?
Thank you very much, Sensei. Thank you very much. A number of people have written that they would actually like to hear more about the part of O Sensei's story that you said you weren't going to tell, because I think they would like it. But if you still don't want to tell it, maybe there's some other O Sensei story that you'd like to tell.
Some of his stuff was disparaging.
disparaging. If you don't want to tell a disparaging story,
Yeah.
maybe there's another.
Do you
OSensei
remember
story.
that time? Do you remember that time you saw the picture? There's a big group around O Sensei, and they all went down. He threw them all down. And then he put his foot on the top of the heap.
Yes, I
Big
remember.
heap of guys. He put on it, looked around. And in Japanese culture, I think putting your feet on a group like that or anybody is not polite. Is that true?
That's true.
Yeah. And he went and did this thing. Oh, was he being impolite? I think he was saying something else, but in an impolite form. He could talk in an impolite form, but I don't know if I want to say. I don't know if people understand where he's coming from or what he was trying to say. Hey, hang on a second. Can I repeat to Aikido people the story?
Yes.
It's all right.
Well, do you want to give us? Do you want to give us?
Okay. I'm with O Sensei once. All the top teachers are on the stage. I mean, the top teachers. O Sensei leans over and says, Nadeau, they don't do what I do. All these guys out there getting better and faster and fancier. He said, they don't do what I do. Well, by that level, I understood what he was saying. O Sensei does this inner work. And they're still developing in the normal human fashion of outer. Maybe with a little say, oh yes, there's a center or something, but really? O Sensei said, no, they don't really. Yeah. So, understand you were trying to make sure I understood that, which by that time I did. I knew it was inner work. As soon as I saw him, I pretty well knew it was inner work. And that part wasn't picked up clear enough, full enough. And so you asked me like where Aikido's going. And I have to say, well, if it keeps going out like that, it's like everything else people does. It's just going to be another thing. Nothing special, just another thing. Ain't good enough to pay lip service. Like, but we're all nice people, or we all try to be centered, or we're all kind of grounded, kind of, sort of, maybe. Yeah, but come on, that's level 1, level 2, come on. What about the next? What about the next? What about the next? What about the next? And we ain't going there, unfortunately. We really gotta. Or those that want to should catch the difference. And if they want to, do this. If you don't want to, fine, be happy. But don't ask me where Aikido's going, because I won't give you the answer you want to hear. Kenny, don't tell me an Aikido person's going to teach the cops to be fantastic cops. Kenny, you there?
Okay.
All right. Because look at what we're doing with the Aikido now. Everyone's out there swinging a stick. So what are those people going to do with cops? They're going to teach them how to swing the club better. Okay? Now, the cop is going to get into a push, and he's going to take his clubbing better and club some poor asshole. I know cops. I know this is going to happen. Because we're not teaching, because they quite likely wouldn't teach them the deeper inner work. Not that cops would probably want to go there necessarily. Been there, done that, okay? But see, what are we going to do with Aikido? Teach them to swing the club smoother? What are they going to do when they're pushed? Swing the club. But that's an old lady. I don't give a shit. I'm swinging the club. Sorry, I'm digging on you there a little bit.
And so, Sensei, I think that many people to do Aikido want to believe or aspire to the idea that if I can calm myself and become a calmness, like a pool of calm, that around me will become more calm, and that will radiate out.
Wait. Now they're using that word 2 different ways now. The calmness is just here temporarily, because calmness is a big word. The calmness, the way we're using it, is a vehicle to get to a better level, at which time, for lack of words, step out of the calmness or through the calmness into the energy qualities that are there that will mix up a character, core self character I am.
If
I'm not sure where you're going with calm to more calm to that calm to this calm. I'm not sure where you're going. So, did I answer anything?
can you describe a connection between overcoming the discordant parts of your inner self to become, let's say, more peaceful?
Wait, I'm sorry, Lauren.
To overcome.
Talk English to me. Once you go into words like discordant, you're starting to throw me because I'm not that well educated.
So,
talk English, please, for me.
If one of the goals of Aikido is to develop more inner peace, right, by overcoming the conflicts inside us or the desire to either fight with ourselves or fight with others, if we can do that, O Sensei talked about how that would lead to a better world.
Okay. What we're talking about, let me give an example. Okay, let's say we all live in a bubble. Let's say, use the bubble as a reference. And at times the rest of the bubble or a lot of the bubbles go berserkers and they get freaky about shit and whatever. Okay, chaos reigns. Okay so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, personally, in my bubble, if I settle and do a process, my energies will balance out a bit better. I'll be a better character. And I hope that the energy balance there in some form radiates out and touches another bubble or 2 or 20 or whatever. Now I got to be careful. I can't stick my head out and see if I'm affecting that, because then I just lost my bubble. And I retain my bubble in the midst of chaos, but retain my bubble and its balance energy, radiating balance, and hope that that does something. Now, following what O Sensei said, he was hoping that enough people catch on to this, that they'd have very advanced balance bubbles, and that there'd be more than a few. And so that, for lack of word, that weight of many at that level would affect the world. You understand? He was talking very advanced here. So advanced, I don't know if people in a certain way should even talk about it, because they're going to keep it limited and say, okay, we'll all be nice and we'll have not that anything wrong with nice, the way I talk. Now, the rest of you will be nice and we'll have nice clubs, and we'll have a club in Canada, nice. I know of a club in South America, nice people club, and we'll hope to affect the world. That's okay, but it's not what he was talking about. He was talking at a much finer dimension, a much stronger energy, harmony, and whatever, that enough beings